Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all. God bless us, everyone. And you can check out my other financial content. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And so you just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, also the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and the music playlist that has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. And listen to those if you are so inclined. Singing, not my regular job, so give me a break on that, but it's pretty cool lyrics, I think. Let's see what else. Oh, I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. Not just running my mouth over here. Running my mouth in addition to being certified by Ramsey Solutions. And market report. Market open today and I think a half day tomorrow, I believe. And let's see. NASDAQ was up, I think, most of the day. Spent a little bit of time being down here, but other than that, being up most of the day. S&P 500, about the same. About the same. I thought the S&P was down more. Down longer was the Dow, of course, and that just got positive right at the end there. So, you can't complain with that. That's up overall, and you should be having your large cap and small cap and international and mid cap as well. Should be having that four-way split, and so that takes care of you in times like this when the small cap is down. Russell is the small cap index. See what the rest of the planet is doing on this Christmas Eve. Only FTSE up in the Europe. In the Asia, mostly up. See what the US dollar is doing. Up over the euro, up over the Japanese yen, up over the British pound, love, or quid, as they say. Up over the Canadian dollar, sorry. And up over the Australian dollar. So it is a clean sweep for the US dollar. And we don't have any earnings reports coming until the new year. The only most followed single stock on the Google, the only one down is Microsoft, looks like. Yep, Meta up nice, 2.5% almost. Tesla, 2.27%. Alphabet, 1.68. And 0.31 up for Apple, and 0.31 exactly the same amount, just canceling each other out. And that's again why you don't have just Apple stock or just Microsoft stock. That's why you have mutual funds, because you would have them both together in your large cap fund and they will cancel each other out like that instead of you just being down. And of course, if you also have the other ones, then you're way more up than even just at a net zero, because these two cancel out. Let's see what is going on in the world. Walmart illegally opened delivery drivers' deposit accounts. I mean, they opened accounts for them. Oh, let's see. Just slightly curious about this. This is from NPR.org. Checking to make sure it wasn't a .com. Federal lawsuit alleges that Walmart deceived more than 1 million delivery drivers by creating deposit accounts without their knowledge or consent, using their social security numbers and other personal information. Yeah, I don't think you can do that. So we'll see. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, we heard about them the other day because they were suing. Who are they suing? Somebody. I can't remember who. But they accused Walmart and payments platform Branch Messenger, never heard of it, of costing delivery drivers over $10 million in fees through these accounts since 2021. Oh, it's been going on that long. Walmart in turn accused the agency of filing a rushed lawsuit full of errors. Okay, well, I mean, they didn't say it has no basis whatsoever. It's just they just said it's full of errors. So I guess we'll have to find out later what is actually going on with this. Fun times. Anything else on this lovely Christmas Eve? And I may go to Easton tonight and do a live video of all the fun Christmas decorations there, and even some parts of it that I have never been to as well. But I saw on the map, like there's a big area with like I think another fountain there and so forth. And so I think that's probably going to have a lot of decoration in that area, but I've never been to that area, so we shall see how that works. Also don't have a gimbal, so we'll see how it works if I just hold my phone. Yep, see, like that wouldn't work. So like if I just like walk slowly and hold it like that, maybe it'll be all right. We'll see. If it's a total nightmare, I'll just record pre-recorded videos of different places and then edit it together, because it really is lovely, and I've missed it when I wasn't here the past 2 years. Christmas Eye, is that what that is? FDA raises Costco egg recall to highest risk level over salmonella fears, and those are not fun. Salmonella not good generally. MicroStrategy stock dropping. Its latest Bitcoin buy doesn't look so good. Yeah, I mean if you buy, that's the problem with it. If you buy it at the high and then it goes down, it was like what? It was over 100,000. Well, I think 103,000, and now it's down 10,000. So that is like what, in the past 5 days, down 5%. 1 month, but it's still up over the past 3 months. But yeah, so that's the problem. If you buy here, then you don't have any wins at all. So, and that is the whole problem, and that's the whole problem with the meme stock as well. Like, let's take a look at GME to compare it to that. Although GME, GameStop, is actually based on something, because that is a business that is operating. And so, and that was up 3.62% today. But if we look at the long term of this, all right, so meme stock, and it went way up there, and then came way down, and then went back up. And so if you bought in any of these spots where it was way up, then you lost money. And you don't want to have like the financial bros, anybody that would go to a subreddit to find out when to buy or sell. Because guess what? If you miss that memo, if you don't get it, if you don't check it on the right day, everybody could sell except for you. And then by the time you get ready to sell, it's down here. So that's why you don't want to do that. That's why you don't want to do single stocks. That's why you don't do options. That's why you don't do puts. That's why you don't do any of that crap except buying managed mutual funds for retirement. Back to the news. Winner steps forward to claim $1.1 billion Mega Millions jackpot nearly 9 months after drawing. Well, I mean, I guess I can see why, you want to make sure you get your life in order first, and so forth. But, it still made the news, so it's not gonna be any, I guess it might be a little bit less fanfare, but I would imagine, anybody that was gonna find out right away, is gonna find out now. So I don't know what the thing is, what the deal is about waiting on that, but not advised anyway, of course, to do that. Uh, some people, I think, including Mr. Ramsey, consider the lottery a tax on poor people. I tried to read this, but I got bored. King Charles ends royal warrants for Ben and Jerry's owner, Unilever, and Cadbury chocolatiers. And I think it has something to do with it's not that they did anything bad. A royal warrant means that the government, or the royals at least, would be more would tend to use your company more, I believe is what that article said. And so apparently it said something about the Ukraine war. So I don't know exactly what Unilever and Cadbury have to do with that, but it was something to do with that, I think. And so, sorry, don't have all the information for you, and don't feel like reading it. So sorry. You can do that when you have your own show. See from CNBC, 13 anonymous media executives make predictions for the new year. All right, it'll be crazy, probably. It'll be crazy. They're probably talking about like what media and what happens with movies and social media, etc., etc. TSA finds surprising number of prohibited items in woman's bag, including 82 fireworks and 3 knives. Well, she sounds like she would be fun. Absolutely. Not trying to be boring or anything like that. And again, CNBC, Nordstrom to go private in $6.25 billion deal with founding family, Mexican retailer. Okay, so you don't get to buy that stock anymore, I guess. Americans are less confident about where the U.S. economy is heading. Well, we certainly heard that before the election, and that was apparently some of the reason that the current president-elect got elected, it said, but there still may be some doubts, and that's understandable. Myself, as far as politicians, they both have to compromise their morals to get anything done, no matter what party they're in. So the idea is that you don't rely on government, you don't rely on politicians to make your life better. You do take steps to do that. And part of that is, speaking of steps that you can take to do that, I think we're done here. Yeah, we're done here. Steps to do that, you can do that. Look at that, 7 baby steps. And that will make your life better, even more than anybody you would vote for or any government program or anything like that. This is much better for you. Let's answer some questions. What up, Sid? Merry Christmas, Sid. Pay off discharge debt despite SAB 9,000. Curious what the sub thinks Dave would say about paying back discharge debt from a bankruptcy. Didn't he say he paid back his creditors after his Chapter 7? He did say that, and that's why I know the answer to this question. So that would be a yes. You're not legally required to, but he did. And he also said it was a pain in the butt too, because they didn't have a way to bill them for it. They had to make up some kind of bill so that they could even take his money. And so not easy, and you're not legally required to. But so I don't know exactly what Dave would say about that, but this question, I think, was when I heard him say all that. So maybe Sid remembers, if she could chime in to what he said about that, but it's definitely not legally So, but I mean, if you have the means, you took the debt out, so you should probably pay it. What would Dave do, Flair? What would Dave do? He did it already. So you know exactly what Dave would do. He would pay it off. Let's see, we completed chapter 13 and had around $60,000 of unsecured debt discharged. We have the means to pay that back, and I'm curious what Dave would say, as I don't think I've ever heard him talk about it on his show. Okay, it has been a while, I think, so I can understand that. But your whole thing about you have the means to do it, so do it. Kind palpitation 8169. Nothing from Sid yet. We'll see if she even answers. Financial advice. Okay, I have that here. Just wanted to come here to get any tips, help, or advice on how to go along with my finances and how to manage myself to not become one of those horror stories you see on being dramatically in debt or anything like that to start. Okay, I thought I did run-on sentences in my Oak Island recaps. My goodness. Okay, so you would do the baby steps again. It's not, a lot of people look at the baby steps and then they're like, oh, but I need exact, for my little situation, I need exact advice. And that's fine. You can call the show. You can get a financial coach such as myself and schedule a free consultation with us, with any coach. You can do that through the Ramsey website as well. If you'd like to get one in your area that you can meet with in person, I do all of my things on through video conferencing. Let's see, where was I? Or anything like that, period. Okay. To start off, I'm 20, still a baby, got plenty of time to fix stuff. I have a relatively new job. I can't properly say how much I make a year, but on average, I make 1 to 2K a week. Okay, well, depending on the workload, blue collar, I don't have no punctuation whatsoever. I don't have any debt per se. Okay, that's per se is PER space SE. I appreciate you trying to use that phrase though without no. Oh, there, look, there's a comma. My goodness. I bought a truck off my dad that I'm paying off every month. I owe 41K and I'm paying him 1K a month. That's too expensive of a vehicle for a 20-year-old that doesn't even know how much you make. So, I mean, if you make 1 to 2, that means a minimum of, I guess, $52,000 a year, something like that. And so if it bounces back and forth, you should budget on just the 1K a week, but you generally wouldn't need $4,000 a week. So, and but you do have debt on this, so you would pay that off as soon as possible. You would keep all of your other expenses at a minimum, and not even buy anything that's not 100% necessary to live until you pay off the debt. That is called baby step 2. Before that, you would have $1,000 starter emergency fund. So the idea is for you to get it done first, and so you don't have to do 41. It won't take 41 weeks to do that, almost, or no, 41 months. That's way too long. You need to pay it off quicker than that. A few medical bills here and there that I need to pay. 1K, don't have any credit whatsoever. I have a secured credit card that I don't use from Discover. I think it has well, you just close that, and that way you are sure you won't use it, and just use a debit card. And that takes money out of your bank account where you already have the money, so that's not debt. I think it has a $300 limit. You don't need it. Just close it then. That's not necessary at all. That's not helping you at all. The truck is needed for the work I do. Yeah, but not that truck. You could go buy a $10,000 truck instead. You don't need that particular truck. Hauling materials, trailers, tools, but I've been hesitating, thinking on selling it. Yeah. And buying a cheaper truck. Well, if he owns it, he would have to sell it. You can't sell it. That would do the same thing, but just be paid off. That's great. Yeah, that's exactly what you should do. I love the truck, and because I'm a truck car guy, why did I think this was a female? I do not know. Because I'm a truck car guy, it's what stopped me from doing it because I know I'd regret it and have the mindset that I'll never be this age again. So language I buy the dumb stuff and toys. Yeah, that happens. I suck at saving since I grew up poor, and now that I got some type of income, I don't manage it very well. Well, that's what the budget's for. That tells every dollar where to go, and that's why Ramsey Solutions named their budget app every dollar. I've tried saving, but I always find myself using it for something. And so you just make yourself not do that. And if you can't make yourself not do that, you might need some counseling of some type to find out what that problem is. Because an adult, which you are at 18, an adult should be able to say, no, I'm not going to buy the Lego Millennium Falcon, because it's $400. That kind of thing. So even though it's pretty cool, and it would be fun to put together, but I'm not going to do that because it's $400 freaking. So you just tell yourself no. And again, if you have a problem doing that, you might need some counseling, some mental health of some type. But normally it's just people not telling themselves no. And if you can't tell yourself no, then the only problem you have in life is in your mirror, because that would be yourself. Let's see, I recently had to, and had to is one of the most overused phrases in the Ramsey world. You did not have to. Heard from a guy today on the Ramsey Show replay that he needed to buy a new $62,000 truck. He did not need to do that. He could have brought a cheaper truck than that. And he already had one. It was a second one. Let's see. Recently had to spend, let's see if it's a had to, around $3,000 to fix some problems. My truck has and new tires for it. It's a lifted truck to fix some so it had problems too. So why do you want to keep it if it's gonna have problems? So maybe you should have got out of it the first time it had problems. Anyway, I lifted truck, so the big tires ended up hurting my pockets more than it should. Right. And so if you don't get a lifted one, if you don't need lifted for your business, then you don't need a lifted truck. Let's see. I'd say I have a good 1 to 1.5K saved, but 1K. Oh, but I know one. But IK means I know for the kids. Uh, it'll eventually disappear now that Christmas is around the corner. Well, if you let it will, it will. If you let it go away, it will. So this is up to you. You are in charge of all of that. It's your money. No one is making you spend it. And so if you have 1 to 1.5K, that's a no. You should have $1,000 starter emergency fund, and that is it. Everything else goes on your debt. I'm still young, that much is certain, and I've been watching a lot of people talk and podcasts on finance, being smart with their money, and I want to get set straight before I end up digging myself in a hole I can't get out of. Don't know if I'm on the right or wrong track. You're on the wrong track. Sell that truck, get a cheaper one, but it's not in your name apparently, since you bought it. I mean, you bought the truck over your dad. I mean, did he already transfer it to you? Do you have the pinks, as the kids used to say? the pink slip for it? Is it in your name? If it's in your name, sell it. And then you can give him all the money that way after you sell it. And you may have to get a small loan for the difference if it's not worth what that $41,000 that you owe on it. Hopefully it is. So yeah, you're on the wrong track. Thinking about it is good. Wanting to be better is good, but then you have to make yourself do that. And the thing about doing this is you have to do sacrifice. And also in the Ramsey Show chat today, talking about people being entitled. And that's just the way it is these days. A lot of kids being raised very, very entitled. And so, then they think they should have everything that they want. And then they make a little bit of money, and then they think that gives them carte blanche to buy a $41,000 truck from their dad. Even if it's from your dad, that's a no. Any business dealings with family or friends should be avoided as well. So you just got to make yourself not do dumb stuff. And again, if you can't, Spenders Anonymous, some other kind of help thing for that, because it's all in your head. If you can't make yourself do it, then something's broken. Because you should be able to make that where that is a decision that you make, and you say, okay, I want my finances to be better. I want my finances to be better, so I will not do dumb crap. Locker Drone 13, mobile home. Currently live in mobile home. Has again, same person. No, there's periods and stuff in here. Just horrible, leaving words out and stuff. I currently live in mobile home, has a small non-emergency leak. Okay, patch it the best you can with something. The mobile home was an inheritance. Rent in my area for something similar would be something like $1,300. I got a quote on the roof, $7,500. That's a no. You said it's not an emergency. Fix it the best way you can. I would get this on my tax return. You shouldn't be getting a bunch of money back on your tax return either. You adjust your withholding so you don't give the government an interest-free loan until tax day. You don't do that because you can do better with that money if you divide it by 52 and get it on every check. Or if you only get paid every 2 weeks by 26 and you get it on every check. You can do better with that money than getting it all at one time. People think it's such a big deal and it's so great if they get a refund. It's not anything. You already were supposed to get that money back in your checks throughout the year. And because you didn't, then they send it back to you later. And so you can use that money to put towards the baby steps, and that's absolutely what you should do with it, not have them save it up for you and be able to use that money. They're getting interest on it, but you are not. Let's see. However, I have around 5,700 in debt collections. What should I address first? Should I put money into the mobile home? Nope. For cash flow, or should I sell it? You can sell it, or you can live in it and fix it the best way you can. There are things that you can put on it to keep it from leaking, for sure. I've paid for a truck. I also have a living girlfriend, not recommended, who has an RV we could potentially stay in, but cohabitating in an RV is rough. Plus the RV is a good drive from my work, and I don't have a truck that can pull it. The issue is also my expenses are about 56% of my current income. And that is fine. Depends on how much the income is. I mean, is more dependent on what your expenses are. Let's see, where were we? And that's with no rent. Okay. That might be too much. I don't know. If there's stuff you can cut out, cut it out. My girlfriend could probably help with the rent, but she has a mountain of debt, like 75K in student loans, credit card debt, car loan debt. Any suggestions? What would Dave do besides get married? Well, you already know. So you already know that part. What he would do is keep your finances separate. And if you don't want to get married, then don't live together either. That's a no, 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 no. And don't combine your finances either. You let her deal with her income and her 75K of student loans and credit card debt and car loan debt, and you deal with your stuff. So you basically you do the baby steps, which part of step 0 is doing that budget, and then you take out everything that is not 100% necessary until you are out of the debt. So, trying to see. So that's the only debt he has is in collections. So if it's in collections, you can call them up and ask them if they'll take less than the amount that you owe, and you can settle it for less. If you had any current debt, you would pay that first. You would just let the collections debt sit, and the longer it sits, the more likely they are to take a settlement offer that you make to them. Simmer's best friend. Oh, let's see. Sid says pretty sure it's personal choice. She also says 99.99% of lifted trucks are unnecessarily lifted. Okay, I'm sure I agree with you on that. So I will take your word on both of those. We'll go with personal choice for paying off discharged debt, and your truck doesn't need to be lifted. The guys like to do that, and he said he's a car truck guy, and the men's like to do that to their trucks. I don't give a crap about vehicles. I need it to get me from point A to point B, and that's it. Other than that, I don't care what it looks like at all. I don't care about any kind of frills on it or anything like that. Not necessary. Complicated situation from Simmer's best friend. Is Simmer simmer down now? Is Simmer a character in something? Shimmer was a horse in the Last of Us Part 2 game, and probably going to be also in the season 2 of the series of The Last of Us. Let's see. So, ... I'm on disability under my dad's Social Security. What? Under your dad's Social Security. All right. I mean, I guess it can be done like that. I do not know. It's really weird. I agree. Essentially, I was on Social Security SSI for a while. Then when it came time for them to check up on me, it flagged me as being able to collect SSDI under my dad, okay, through a program called Disabled Adult Child Benefit, okay, which I didn't know was a thing. I did know that was a thing. I don't know like who qualifies for it and what the qualifications are, though, but I did hear of that before. I didn't have a choice but to start collecting from him once they flagged me as eligible. Okay. It's fine. I really don't care. All right. This is fine. My problem is, and this was the case with SSI as well, I can't have more than $2,000 in assets to remain eligible for Medicaid, and that is the problem. That's the problem with all the help me things. Especially when government's involved, that is the problem with the help me things, because it keeps you down by not letting you get ahead. So that should not be part of it. They should allow you to be able to get ahead, and then maybe when you have, a certain amount in it, like a big amount, a much much bigger amount, then then maybe then you're not qualified for it anymore. But this thing where you can't have more than $2,000 in assets, otherwise, I mean, that would be half of it would be your starter emergency fund. And so then if you have a car, then that's going to be it as well. But disabled might not be able to drive. Let's see, to remain eligible. My way around that is an ABLE account, okay? An account that allows those with disabilities to be able to save money and use it for their well-being. Okay, let's see what other stuff is in this and see how it's complicated. Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? Oh, just a little bit more to be able to save money and use it for their well-being. Didn't I? Oh, it's on the other tab. Opened it up in another tab and then was looking for it on the same tab. Where am I? Well-being and disability-related expenses. Okay, which I did open. Okay, so I'm on baby step 1. I have to put my emergency fund into my ABLE account, as I already make just over $1,000 a month in SSDI. They count that money as an asset immediately after giving it to you. See, that's crazy too. I have about a month and a half left until I make my $1,000 starter fund. Then I'll be moving on to baby step 2, which I'm hoping will only take me until June or July. Great. Once I'm on baby step 3, I also have to store that money in my ABLE account. Okay, if it's legal, knock yourself out. I guess my question is that okay? I do not know. I do not know the law on that kind of thing. Like, I can access the funds easily through the debit card I have. Okay, great. I was wondering about that as well. The only catch with these accounts is it needs to benefit me and my disability in some way. But they leave the interpretation of that very loose, so I'm not overly concerned. Right. So don't buy anything that's not necessary through that account then. Anything like your food, you gotta pay rent. Anything else, shelter, food, clothing, transportation, internet benefits you as well to have, and so anything like that, your other utilities. So I think that all that would be fine, and you're not buying a bunch of other crap anyway. Also, what about steps 4, 5, and 6? Like step 4, even though I don't have a job to retire from, do I still put 15% of my income into that account as like a buffer? Yeah, because assuming you're gonna stay alive past retirement age, even though you don't have a job, you might want to do something. Now, you wouldn't qualify, I don't think, for unless there could be a tax advantage retirement account for disabled people, maybe for people on SSDI. So you would check on that. I'm not sure if there is, but I would think there would be something. And I assume I skipped 5 and 6 since I don't have kids and I live with my parents. Okay, so no rent anyway. So let's see, looking forward to step 7 and never getting myself into this debt mess again. Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like in July that you'll be on step 4. And then step 4 continues forever. If you don't need it in retirement, then you just keep investing it. If you need to live on retirement, you would stop putting it into a retirement account then and just use it to cash flow living in addition to whatever you can withdraw from retirement account. If there's no retirement account, you would just open a brokerage account and treat it as your own personal retirement account for that. But yeah, you would still be investing for the future. And so if you're not ever gonna leave, if you're not ever gonna have kids or buy a house, you can just skip those steps, and you would be automatically on 7. Basically, as soon as you started step 4, you would be on step 7, and 4 would continue. So yeah, any baby step that doesn't apply to you, you can skip. Now that doesn't mean that if you consider, whatever you do, if you have some kind of debt that you don't count, like if you don't count student loans as step 2 debt, that's too bad. That's step 2 debt. So and people, especially the guy that was on the replay today, he paid off his free. He said when he called, he said he was in step 7, but he had a HELOC. So when you are on step 7 and then you take out a home equity line of credit, guess what you've done? You've put yourself back in step 2. So there's no step 7, and people, of course, do not like that. They think if they get there the first time, they need to be able to stay there no matter what. And this person also turned a kitchen repair. Something needed a repair, or one or two things needed a repair, and he turned that into a remodel, which prompted the HELOC. And so that is dumb as crap. So do not do that. But this person, what is it? Simmer's best friend, seems like that'll be fine, and that's, you're trying to be intentional about it, and so that's good. Does it say how much debt? Doesn't say how much debt. Into this debt mess again. Doesn't say. So I wonder what it was for. So, like, if it's a vehicle, if you can drive with your disability, if it's a vehicle, then you sell the vehicle. You can do that, and that could make it happen even faster. But it sounds like it's not that much, though, since you can take care of it in 7 months. So, I think you'll be all right. Just keep this mindset about wanting to be in a better financial situation, and that's how you get there. First is wanting to, and second is making yourself do the stuff to get there. Okay. Popular bit 1226, income and side hustles. I'm stuck in a huge hole and don't know how to get out. It's wonderful though. Amazing, amazing. I have one full-time job paying $16 per hour. I used to Uber, but I hit a pole twice and rear-ended someone today, so that side hustle is out, I would imagine. Maybe driving should be out forever. Hitting a pole twice and rear-ending somebody is a lot. Let's see. I like flipping things and selling for profit, but I'm terrible at it. Okay, then don't do it. You're not at a situation where you can do something and think you're trying to do that as a job and then not making any money at it. I have 2 science degrees, my goodness gracious me, and a pharmacy license that I'm not using. Why not? What can I do to increase my income? I have a great idea. I have a fabulous idea. You're not gonna believe this. My advice would be to use your 2 freaking science degrees and your pharmacy license, which all 3 of those probably resulted in some debt that you're dealing with, is what I would think. And so you want to use what you spent all that money on to get the 2 science degrees and the pharmacy license. You would want to work in that field, and you can make more than $16 an hour. And even if you don't, you work as much as you can. do a different kind of side hustle that doesn't require you to drive, since you're not that good at that apparently. I need coffee RN. That means right now it's for the kids. Well, the kids know what it means. Explaining it to the older people that watch. Looking for, thank you, old people, for watching. I got a shout out to the olds, shout out to the poors. Uh, shout out to everybody. And definitely Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year too. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Looking for ideas for remote afternoon, night shift work, whatever you can get. Look on the internet. I don't know. Remote, yeah, there's all kinds of things. You just got to look for it. There has to be some type of data entry, customer service, remote jobs out there, sure. But just wanting to ask here for other suggestions. No, I mean, depends on what you can do, what you're good at as well. So, and if that applies to remote work, but yeah, just check job listings. Maybe somebody, how many? 6 comments here, so maybe they had some ideas. Big Benefit 5804. What up, Matty Bags? Merry Christmas, sir. What up, Matty Bags? Hashtag mention. Where were we at? Big Benefit 5804. Confused about lack of liquidity after debt payoff. Okay. So, okay, before answering this, I'm just going to go ahead and give what I think is going on here. So, after you pay off your debt, then the money, extra money each month that you were putting towards your debt, then that goes to the next baby step, which is baby step 3, which is your full emergency fund. So you would use that same thing and you don't go any less gazelle. So everything that you were doing to sacrifice in order to get the debt paid off, you would continue doing that while you get a full emergency fund. Now, when you put on the brakes a little bit, if you want, don't have to, but if you want, you can. And definitely celebrate after the debt payoff, to celebrate the end of baby step 2, to celebrate no more debt. You can put some kind of small celebration in the budget for sure. And then again, after the full emergency fund, you can put a bigger one in. So let's see what the actual thing is on baby step 2 and okay, so not there yet anyway, regardless. People love to think ahead. They always do. They don't get that done first. They always want to figure out everything first. Figure out what's going to happen on everything, and none of what they projected is going to happen because life be like that, Let's see, baby step 2, I have $55,000 left. It doesn't work with that one. $55,000 left. Not as good anyway. In debt. By good circumstance, I'm able to pay that off in the next few weeks. Fabulous. However, if I do so, I will be down to 0 essentially, besides a $1,000 emergency fund, and that's what you should be. See, so you see, baby step 1 here does not say save $1,000 as fast as possible, and the Ramsey version of that is save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. It doesn't say to save up more money than that, does it? No, it doesn't. You do not save 1 cent extra than the $1,000 emergency fund. Now, if you got to go to the dentist, was the example today somebody called with on the Ramsey show replay. If you need tires, if you need to get your oil changed, you can do a sinking fund for that in a separate savings because you know you're going to have to pay that. So you either cash flow it the month it happens, or you can save up for it in advance. That is fine. But you don't have a general savings that is more than $1,000 if you're on baby steps 1 or 2. That's a no. So where did that come from? So that's a no to do that. I worry what to do if something happens between the time I'm building my 3 to 6 month fund and when I hit zero. Essentially, thoughts. Yeah, you don't run your financial life on general worry. Okay? Like if you think you might lose your job, it has to not just be because you watch the freaking news too much. Turn off the news, first of all. Second of all, has to be a 51% of you a chance of you losing your job in order for you to change anything about the baby steps. If it's actually an emergency thing happening, you can pause the baby steps and just pile up cash. But that's still not just trying to put half of it to more savings and half of it to whatever baby step you're on. That's a no. Let's see. So yeah, the general worry about something happening, that's not part of the baby steps. Things will happen, and if they happen, then you got to pause and then you take care of them, and how the best you can. So, but you do not start building up, you do not save extra money while you still have debt. That's a no. So that's the thought on that. That is, your general worry is not going to change day advice at all. I said the advice, and I want to say Dave's, and it sounds like I think I said day advice. Dave's advice and the advice. So that's a no. If you do that, you're doing it wrong. You're already doing it wrong by having more savings than you are than the $1,000 start emergency fund. Both at 2026. Can debt consolidation be better or easier than the snowball method? Some people might think it's easier. It's not easier to it doesn't make the baby steps go faster, which is more important. So there's no debt consolidation. Mr. Ramsey called it consolidation because it makes you think you've done something when you just move the debt from here, and here to over here to this account. It's the same amount of debt. Actually, they often charge you to transfer a lot of times. And so that puts you in even more debt. So you're doing it wrong. Thank goodness the cap was on securely. That would not have been fun if it wasn't. I feel like for me, drowning in debt from bad decisions. We all make bad decisions and we all had debt. Almost all of us anyway. Like using credit cards, check. After my divorce, check. And saying yes to well, not after the divorce, I didn't. I was already on the no debt train by that time. And saying yes to things I should have said no to. I've done that, but again, fortunately not for a very, very long time. Lately, I've been doing the snowball method, and it's helped me pay off a few cards. Excellent. But my income isn't steady every month. When big bills come in, I barely have enough left because I've thrown so much into paying off my debt. Well, that's what the zero-based budget is supposed to do. You have $1,000 emergency fund, and that's it. You don't have any other buffer room. Now, if you need an extra $100 or something to get you to the next paycheck for things that are in your budget for known upcoming expenses, not for overspending, you would just I was trying to emphasize that and I lost my train of thought. Let's see. Barely had enough to pay because I turned so much. Oh yeah, so yeah, you would you're supposed to send all that money, but like I said, if you need a couple $100 to, like for example, you can't pay rent off of one paycheck, then that means you need to have some from the previous paycheck to pay that bill, that rent amount. Same thing for any other expense. If one paycheck can't cut it, then you can't do that. Now that's different if one of your friends wants to invite you out to eat, then you just say no to that. But if it's a 100% needed expense, then you have to have enough. So otherwise, you're doing it correctly by not having any money left over and all that going to debt. You should have your $1,000 emergency fund always. And then if you need a little buffer to get you to the next check, then you certainly keep that as well. The zero base budget doesn't mean that you have $0 in the checking account ever necessarily. Does not mean that. Already cut back on spending. Great. Probably need to cut back more. Stopped eating out. Fabulous. And bring my lunch to work. Fabulous. Still, all my credit card payments are due at the same time, and it's overwhelming. Okay, this is great because not a lot of people know this, but you can call them and ask them if you can change your payment date. You can do that on utilities. You can do that on credit card payments. And a number of other things. You can ask them to change the date that is due so they're not due all at the same time. But, and that might make it easier for you to deal with. But the other way to deal with it is just keep enough to make sure you can pay all of the bills on one check. Save up enough to add to that check to be able to pay all of those at the same time. So it's more planning, or you changing the date, whichever is easiest for you. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Either way. I'm losing sleep over this and beating myself up for the choices I made years ago. Consolidation keeps popping up as an option, and that's a no. So no, of course it does. If you are, and you know why that would be popping up, like if you are on your debt, doing debt payments, credit card payments, etc., etc. They want to sell you their other debt products, for sure. And even if you're not, even if you're just Googling debt, that's going to come up as well, because guess what? Whoever is sending you the making it pop up on your screen, they want to sell you that consolidation either, because guess what? They're not doing it to help you out. They are doing it to make themselves money, and by doing that, they have transfer fees, so you're also, and they get added to the account, so you're actually putting more debt happening, and no further debt is part of baby step 0 here. And again, long promised, not done. I'm going to make myself do it this weekend. I'm going to do it this weekend. I will have that first baby steps video out. Maybe not put it out till Monday, but I will work on it this weekend. Waited far too long time coming. Where are we? Oh yeah, keeps popping up as the option. Yeah, and they want you to do that, but don't do it again. It's okay. So you have this credit card here, that credit card here, that credit card here, that credit card here. So moving it to this one account, guess what it does? It tricks you into thinking you've done something, and it also adds to your freaking debt because of the transfer fees. Dumb as crap. Just pay it off. All right, but that's how you can get around everything being due at the same time. You can ask whichever creditor, whatever bills you're paying, even utilities, you can ask them to move that to a different date. And most often, they don't have a problem doing that. Financial goals for 2025. Maddie says just moving around, that's all it is. Doesn't change behavior, that much is certain. Now he's trying to think of some goals. Too hard when someone isn't on board. Your goal then should be to, that is your situation, so you have to make that work. Let that be your goal. But again, I need to take charge, do some action. Well, you can't take charge. It's not possible because you are not in charge of all the money. You are not in charge of what she does. That's not how it works. Establishing boundaries, an excellent goal for sure. And yeah, and you can decide what you need to do to get through the situation and to make it better if at all possible. So that should be your goal. Not a particular number goal, but all the stuff that's around it. Oh, what time is it? Oh my goodness. How about we'll save that one? No, I want to do this one. This one looks like fun. Let's see. Arctic Jill says stories from Dave's baby step book are mostly leveraging on housing price rise. Housing price rise. Did I say housing? That's a different word. Housing price rise. What if I don't have a mortgage but huge debt? Is the advice still good? Yes, it is, because it's to get rid of your huge debt. So, but there is no leveraging on housing price rise. That may happen because your house will 99.9% of the time it will be worth more money in the future. So, but you're not leveraging that. You know why? It has to be, would have to take out a loan or a HELOC on it in order for it to be leveraging. If you aren't increasing your debt, then you're not leveraging anything. So what is your problem, Jill? Hi all, hi guys. I have huge debt and all this gave me suicidal thoughts. That's not good. Probably shouldn't have said that. A lot of the podcaster people aren't saying that. So, better safe than sorry, I guess. But I said it twice now. No, I only said it once. Now I am trying to crawl back up and face reality. I saw Dave's show on YouTube and want to give life a second chance. That is advice for sure. But I read the first few pages of a Baby Steps Millionaire book and I can't stop realizing that the stories he shared seem to be based on the rising housing price so people can get rid of debt. No, that's not at all. You didn't understand any bit of it. You did not understand any bit of it. And so the problem is you got the wrong book as well. You should have the Total Money Makeover or George's Breaking Free from Broke. So you didn't understand it. If you read the baby steps, you would understand. Where does it say the house price has to rise for you to pay off your debt? I don't see that anywhere on the baby steps. I see the only thing about the house I have here is pay off your mortgage early. That's the only one I see. I don't see it where your house has to be worth more. It doesn't. I mean, if you still owe on the mortgage, you do have to pay it off. And the advice is to pay it off early. But nowhere does it say for you to leverage the freaking house. 22 comments. I'm sure some of them are good. And probably told Jill that she's being nutty, being understanding impaired there. Let's see. And so it's not so people can get rid of debt. No, you get rid of debt even if you're renting. So how is that possible? People are nutty. But what if I don't have a mortgage to lean back on? You're not leaning back on it. You don't think renters can do the baby steps? That's dumb as crap. And my income is not good. That's a different thing. Some career mistake, despite really good education, that's your fault. That happens. You have to overcome that. Work more, spend less. That's what you should have gotten from that. I didn't read Baby Steps Millionaire, so I don't know what's at the beginning of it. But you would think the baby steps would be in there somewhere. And it doesn't say you have to have a house. Dumb as crap. Where are we at? Will his book still be applicable for me? Yeah, but also, you know what is will be applicable for you is if you understand what is written there. He doesn't use, $20 college words. It's all simple words in his books. You should be able to understand it, and you didn't for some reason. Don't get it. Based on David Weiss, anyone has no mortgage but just renting monthly. Anyone has? You mean if anyone has? We're not playing some MMORPG here where you ask, in the chat you say anyone has this? No, it's does anyone have this? So you doing it wrong. Doing English. No mortgage, but just renting monthly and managed to kill off their debt? Yes. Many, many, many renters have done that. You don't think they have? That's so dumb. So hopefully 22 comments. Hopefully somebody has set Jill correct and explained a very easy to understand book. But I mean, I'll give her a break because I did not read this, but I'm assuming that at the beginning it says to do that. Now, and what would have been good for it to say for Jill apparently is, hey, read a Total Money Makeover first, or you have to do the steps in order before concentrating on the last part, which is being a millionaire. That happens at the end of the baby steps, not before then. So, and that's how you become a millionaire as well, is because just by virtue of that being, generally houses being a lot of money, and rising in price, being worth more, appreciating is the word for that I was looking for. The fact that it is appreciated, then that is a lot of people, most of their net worth of their first million. So now, if you got his book and you start, that's like you reading the book backwards, though. So maybe even if the baby steps were at the beginning, you just glanced at them and you say, wait, where's this millionaire stuff at? And how do we do that? And so, yeah, that definitely helps you get to a millionaire. But you're not trying to get to a millionaire. You know what you're trying to do? Baby step 1 first, which is save $1,000. You don't need a house for that. You can be a renter and do that. Baby step 2, pay off all debts from smallest to largest. You don't need a house for that. You can do that as a renter. You can do everything as a renter, and then you can skip baby step 6 if you never want to buy a house. So, I mean, some people, and some of these on here are definitely trolling, for sure. How can they not be? But also, people are nutty, so you never know. So anyway, that's how I wanted to address it anyway. Alrighty, that's not the right one. It's that one. Here's my, let's see. That's what Maddie Bags meant to say. Hashtag meant. Shun. YouTube.com/CoachSteveMoney is my page. And again, for my playlists, financial playlists, you just scroll down a little bit and you get to the financial ones. Ramsey Show, Aftershow, one playlist. And today is number 443. How about that? Answering your financial questions stream. That's a weekend stream that I used to do, and I'm not doing that currently. It's on hiatus, but there's plenty of those. 137 of those, so plenty to, and the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, so listen to those if you are so inclined. Don't expect a great singer, but you can expect some decent words, I think, to those, and they're all based on pop songs. I think they're all pop songs. And so fun times, and then when you hear them on the radio, then you'll think about me instead of the artist that originally did it, and I would love that, because I love attention. Alrighty. I might. I don't know if I'll do the Easton Town Center Christmas decorations stream, live stream tonight or tomorrow night. We'll see. One of them, though. Should stream the Packers Saints game tonight. Fun to watch with you. Oh, yeah, well, you can't stream it yourself. You can't add it to your stream. That's illegal. That's copyright. But yeah, some people do that. I mean, with that, I would, if I would do anything, I would do a Commanders one like that. But there's so many people doing those already. There's probably no need for me to do that. But yeah, and I probably won't. Like I said, I may be out doing that live stream at Easton Town Center. So Maddie says yes, I do something. So I don't know what that is, or that just like a yes, I do. What was it that I said I do? Oh, like attention. Yeah. So maybe that's what he's talking about. Alrighty, once again, I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And hey, if you, yes, you, got many problems or you just want to make sure you are on track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That's in the ticker below. It's also in the video description. You can email me if you have a question about financial coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel or anything else on your mind, in fact, to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, a Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Or, of course, super chat, super stickers on live streams and on pre-recorded videos. You can do super thanks. Upcoming streams, Ramsey Show After Show, and that's going to be 5:25 p.m. each weekday, even after all of these replays of the Ramsey Show, because there are not going to be any new Ramsey shows until January 2nd is when they are back. But I will be doing one even Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I will still be doing a stream. The only time I won't is if somebody invites me to some kind of Christmas thing or to their house for a meal or something like that over the holidays, which could happen, but we'll see. We'll see. If I'm home, I will be doing the After Show. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. All the things. And of course, make smart financial decisions every day.